Welcome to another episode of Storytime with BDD. I'm your host, BDD, aka Brooklyn Dad. Folks, Frida Kahlo once said, I never paint dreams or nightmares. I paint my own reality. But my next guest seems to, at times, do all three. Sometimes wait, let's go back here. Boom, boom. There we go. Sometimes his art can be the lens through which we view the times we're living through. Sometimes it captures a mood or a moment. It uplifts us. It frightens us. It inspires us. My next guest does all of that and more. He is tapped into the national mood. When the nation mourns, his ink weeps. When we're joyous, the paintings leap off the page. Without further ado, let's leap on into this interview with my friend, the immensely talented Jon Lion. Welcome, Jon.
Quite the bow.
Thank you for coming on the show, my friend.
Oh, it's my pleasure. My pleasure. It's so good to see you.
Indeed. Now, I need to explain to our audience here that we are how fortunate we actually are to have you here, because we almost didn't get the illustrious Jon Lion here with us because he had some familial duties that
Absolutely.
he was sprung from. Tell me what was where were you supposed to be tonight?
Well, as you know, in life we wear many hats, many hats. And as some people know, some people don't know, I have two children, and there was a school event that I was supposed to be at tonight. It's like an end of the school thing. And when we first talked, I was like, I can't do it. I got to go do this. And my lovely wife so generously let me off the hook. And so she was like, you go play with Brooklyn Dad, and I'll go do mom and dad stuff. So I
That's
said,
huge.
okay, I get to be here.
I hope you're not on the shit list.
Well, it's for that or where are we going with this conversation? Because
There's
there's,
other
are we
things.
scroll listing here or?
If there's other things happening, my name is Bennett,
No.
and I ain't in it.
Absolutely not. Living the dream. Living the dream.
So yeah, living the dream indeed. Do you mind? Can we talk about your family a
Absolutely.
minute?
Hey,
And
I know those people.
you guys do not know how to take a bad photo. And
Oh,
you are lucky enough that the girls are still at an age where they're mostly happy to smile for this
well,
picture.
it's nice of you to say that. You're making me turn red here with this big light over my head here. Um, but my son is 13, my daughter's 11, and they are old souls. And they keep us young, as you know. You're a dad, you get it. So, and that's what we started with the many hats. It's like, we're here to talk about art and all that kind of stuff, but let's be real here. We're all living a life, and we're all, you know trying to balance that, trying to balance the reality of what you have to do to keep a house running and keep children clean and fed and in school and do this. So it's fun. I like
That
it. Keeps me
indeed,
busy. Keeps me busy.
you know, I think that's what we have. In fact, we have other things in common, but that's one of the things I admire about you. That the family. It's clear how important family is to you. We're
Oh,
both dads.
beyond. It's we,
Yeah.
we always talk about, conversations that we always have, with my wife, kids, and my mother, is your support system. And everybody in life has their own, as I always said my whole life, we should all have on our foreheads, everybody has their own batch of bullshit. It should be tattooed right there. Because we all do. No matter where you are in life, we all deal with our own batch of bullshit. No matter how good things are going or bad, whatever, we all deal with it. And we've discovered and we've figured out over the years. I've been with my wife for 23 years. Actually, we just had our anniversary, 27th of May. I hear that. And that's how we figured out the only way to do it and to continue and to be together for 23 years is to find the friendship and to find the support system. And that's what we've done. And that's obviously what we instill in our kids, and that's what we're trying to raise. And it's more than just a family doing family things. It's a support system, and sometimes it's beyond your family. It's your friends. And I'm a very big believer in a support system because, again, we all have our own batch of bullshit, and that's what gets us through. We're nothing without it.
Do
So,
you feel that your family informs your art at some level?
that's a interesting question, actually. Yes and no. It's funny because everybody always asks me and expects, your children must be, the best artists and so into art, and they're great artists. They love it. But on the other hand, it's like dad does it. Dad does it every day. They see this every day, and it's old hat to them. So, a lot of times, like, it ends up being the landscaper with the bad lawn. It's just like, eh. So I wouldn't necessarily say that they, inspire me and push me to in ways to do some of the things I do, but on the other hand, in ways they do, because I do a lot of weird stuff, like, I'll have a canvas like this, for example. You know,
Yeah.
there's nothing painted on here yet. This is the background. To me, this is the background. And sometimes my son will walk in and he'll say something like, "Oh, it would look cool on that." And I'm like, "Wow, that's a great idea." And my wife does the same thing, and my daughter, and so yeah, it's a little bit of both, to answer your question, I think.
This room that you're in right now, it
Haha.
is it is functioning as your makeshift studio, but it's technically not a studio, is it?
All right. Well, you want to hear the grit?
Give us the
uh,
rundown.
yeah, this is the rundown. It's funny because it was a very weird transition, and it actually is no longer a makeshift studio. This is now my belly of the beast. This is me. Um, so, quick little story. When COVID hit, before COVID, I was sharing a studio space with a good friend of mine, very good friend of mine, who has changed my life over the years. He taught me the business side of art, and Patrick Ganino is his name. And
Mhm.
I was sharing. He's got a large studio space, and we've done very strange, large 40-foot murals and big projects there. But when COVID hit, kids obviously came home. They were home for the whole school year, and so everybody was home. And technically, I was supposed to be home. You're not supposed to be in offices and that kind of thing. But, like, we had a weird situation because it was like a studio share, and I said, you know what? I'm
Mhm.
gonna go home. And so I started this room I'm sitting in now is technically our dining room. And I know you can't see over here, but my dining room table is over here. It's now my big desk. But what I
Where does
started
everybody
doing is,
where
what's
does
that?
everybody eat now? Where does everybody eat?
We have a our house is very not normal setup, I guess you can say. We
This
used to have a
is.
table. My kitchen is next to me. We used to have a table there, and now we have
Mhm.
like this weird little setup next to the dining room with a table, and that's where we eat. So it's kind of we're a very comfortable family. So,
Okay.
but
Sorry to
but the
interrupt.
no, no,
Yeah.
no. So what happened here in the dining room is I was taking stuff home. I was stuff like you got, if anybody's familiar with my work, you see I post a lot of charcoal drawings, and here I'll give you a quick little example. This is one of my favorites. You may have seen this. Oh, camera, where's the camera? My Sarah
Right
Cooper
here. Yeah.
drawing,
Oh
stuff
yeah.
like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So stuff like the charcoal drawings, I could sit on my couch to it. It's just a handful of pencils, it's a sketchbook. But obviously, most of my life is painting. It's portraits. It's how I make my living. I'm a commission-based artist, and I primarily paint portraits. So I started with, I have a little up there. I have a little travel easel, as they call it. My big easel is behind me here. See my big easel with Kamala there? That's my main
Yeah.
easel where I do everything. But this travel easel, this little like $20 Ocean State job lot travel easel that I've had since I was probably like 12, became my main thing. I was sitting at my dining room table every day, because I wanted to be here. Everybody was here, and like if I left, I felt weird. I felt like in this. You remember the beginning of COVID? I thought I was going into the war zone, and like I felt awkward being out there.
Right.
So I just started sitting at my dining room table, and my wife at first was, we have a white we had a white carpet, or there's white carpeting throughout our house, and the dining room had white carpeting, and she's like watching me like, dude, there's paint everywhere. Like, see this is my life. There's bottles of paint everywhere.
Oh no.
So she would just kind of see her over there. She's like, okay, okay, this is okay, this is okay. And I became very neat with what I do. Of course, there were some accidents with always with black paint for some reason. And so slowly I started taking over. I started bringing more and more stuff in here. I'm bringing work. Some of these portraits I do, they're 4-foot canvases, and
Mm.
when I was in the bigger studio space, we have the room for it. But here it was like, it's a tighter dining room, and I'm bringing all this stuff in here now. The walls are starting to close in with this big table in the center of the room, and we just kind of sat here and said, okay, it's time to figure this out. So we basically just said, this is your new space. And at
Wow.
first, I actually, to back up, I started doing some work in my basement, and that's kind of where I very first started with COVID. And I felt very weird down there. I was like, it's like lonely or something. I was like in this dungeon, this tortured artist in a dungeon. I guess that's
Disconnected
perfect.
from everyone
Yeah,
and everything
that's the
down there.
exact word. And that's the exact word I said to my wife. I said, I feel very disconnected here. The furnace is running, and it's just, and I kept coming up. I kept
Yeah.
like finding a reason to walk away from a painting, and I got to go up and get coffee. Oh, I got to go with it.
Yeah.
So, and then we just kind of said, all right, well, this is now your room. Behind me, there's like a wall divide. My living room is behind me, and we put this wall divider up, and we bought this big cabinet. We moved the dining room table over. It's my big sloppy desk, and this is where I spend all my time. Anything you
Well,
see that anything I post, anything, it's all created right in this room now. And I love it
well,
because I don't have to go anywhere. So we made it work. And
well,
also,
it's
what's funny, a good point here too is studios aren't cheap. They're not, obviously. And I've always, over the years, back and forth with like working at home, or do you share a studio? Do you? It's another. You feel like as an artist, you have to be in your quote unquote studio. And
mhm.
I've been doing this for so long that I just feel like I've reached this point where I'm allowed to do what I want. I'm allowed to do it how I want, and I made this work, I guess you can say. And it works once in a while with some of the big. I'm working on a very big 6-foot canvas right now, and I'm doing it here. And it's a little awkward at times, but I make it work.
Well,
So I have a
speaking of
very understanding family and a very understanding wife. So
speaking of a 6-foot canvas,
yeah,
uh,
ha ha
so
ha! Look at
a
that.
little while ago,
I didn't know you had that picture. That's funny.
my wife commissioned a painting, which is
Yes,
now prominently displayed here in my
yes,
studio, uh, here on the wall. Here, it's massive. I'm sure
yes.
it's 6 feet tall, and this was my wife's Father's Day gift to me, and I was impressed with her ability to not spill the beans on it, and
Yes.
it arrived here, surprise, like we had just gotten back from a trip. And here is, ladies and gentlemen, here's a little clip of our friend John finishing this off here. Kind of meta, me watching myself being painted on my
Mhm.
show in front of my own painting, whatever.
Yeah, I kind of lost you for a second there, but it just came back.
Oh, yeah. So
So you might
that
have said all
is.
sorts of shit about me, and that was your moment to say what you wanted to say about me because I couldn't hear you.
Oh,
So
I would never. But I would say
yeah.
that that was clearly one of the best gifts I've ever gotten. And you seem to have a knack for doing portraits that are, I would say, family oriented. Like you have this
No,
one here. I'm guessing, are these friends of yours? Family friends?
nope, nope.
Just
Just
clients
clients
that
along the way.
that's now, how did they find you, first of all?
This one, it's, I mean, in this day and age, I've been doing this for decades, and I could think back to my early 20s when I was like a different artist and no social media, and it was tough. You see why, I mean, the term starving artist always applies, but now picture pre-social media days trying to get stuff out there and people aren't going to hire you if they don't see your work. I mean, that's the bottom line. But
Yeah.
anything like even this one you just put on the screen there, I mean, these are all social media contacts. They see my work and they send me a message. Oh, I like your work. Do you think you can do this for me? And that's pretty much in this day and age, it's which makes an artist's job a lot easier than it used to be 10, 15, 20 years ago. I mean,
I
it
love
was
this one.
impossible years ago. What's that?
This is amazing. This painting is, you call this a painting? This is a painting, right?
Yep, that's a painting.
Because I'm
Yep.
not seeing color.
Yep, that was so with that one in particular, I think that was like 3 feet by 3 feet. And they just sent me this, they threw an email, they sent me a little black and white picture. And I love doing paintings like this because it's not like a traditional portrait. It's not like a studio posed portrait. I
Yeah.
love painting candid scenes. And that was actually a Father's Day gift too. Oh, that's me and my mom. That's
What?
yeah, that's me and my mom.
Dude,
Yeah.
dude. I
When
just gotta
I did that one for her. It's always been one of her favorite photos, and the photo itself was a little ratty.
I love that. I
Yeah.
love that. Like, so your paintings, those paintings, right? Those ones, they elicit. I don't know these people. I didn't know. I thought this was just some random kid and his mom. I didn't even know that was you, right?
Yeah,
But when I'm looking
yeah.
at these paintings myself, as a complete stranger,
Mhm.
they do elicit, a feeling from me.
Oh,
I'm like, oh, that's nice. That's really,
that's my goal, because, I mean, people when they're normally see a lot of people I paint it like if there's somebody passes away or something, you know, I always have a different kind of pressure in that situation. Because just what you said, I mean, the whole point of it is to make somebody feel, is to see something, and even not a passed away situation, just anything. It's like you look at a piece of art. It's not just some people buy art because it matches their couch, and some people buy art because there's a lot of feeling behind it. And
right.
being primarily a portrait artist as opposed to like an abstract painter or a landscape, actually started as a landscape painter, but that's a different feel. You're creating a different feel. When you're portrait painting, it's tough because the person you're painting, the person who hired me knows this person
Mhm.
very well, and they know their mannerisms. They know what they look like when they smile or frown. I don't know these people. I know the picture you sent me. So that's where my job sometimes gets a little tough, and it's hard because you want them to see this and have a good feeling. And if I don't capture those mannerisms or that expression or the twinkle in somebody's eye, I didn't do my job. So
Yeah.
over the years, that's kind of something that I really, really, when I'm in there painting like somebody's face, like that's what I think of. I think I get very attached to the person in the moment. And I have to do that. I have to get emotionally attached to this person. Otherwise, it's going to come out as a flat painting with no feeling. The twinkle's not going to be in the eyes. My wife's a very good critic. She's like, a lot of people say, "Oh, John, your work is great. Your work is great." Sometimes I need the opposite. Like I need somebody to tear me
Objective.
down a little bit and tell me what's wrong. And my wife is my person. She's very, very honest, and she's very good about it. And she
Yeah.
sees things I don't see. Some of these portraits I put out, hey, I'm going to admit it, it's a team effort. Like she'll come in and be like, there's something, the eye is a little this or that. And she's
Dude,
right, you know?
can I tell you? I sometimes do that with my wife with my tweets. I will sometimes run a
Yeah,
tweet and
exactly.
I'll run a tweet
Go
past her.
ready for full circle support system. Where will we be
Yeah.
without it?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So,
So what's your your favorite kind of painting to do? Is it like is it portraits, or is it stuff like
Mm,
this? Like, this is fantastic. This is gorgeous.
See,
It's a face, but the eyelashes are like trees, right?
what you're
Eyelashes,
seeing there
eyebrows.
is a little more of where I came from as an artist. Especially I'm 45 now, so like in my 20s, I painted a lot different than I paint now. Again, it was pre-social media for me. I was very late to join the social media world. And so I painted a lot of weird stuff, a lot of stoner art, and a lot of, that kind of stuff. And I love painting it. I do, but
Yeah,
it was very hard to find a market for it. So you kind of have to make these decisions. You know, Years ago, good long, 15 years ago, I always had this phrase in my head. It was called passion versus profession. And I battled with that. And my son was born and I was like, passion versus profession. I need to make money. I need to have insurance. I need to, blah, 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 blah. So I kind of put so my son's 13. So this was 13 years ago. I kind of said, you know what? I need to hang the art up for a little while. I'll never stop. It's in me. I'll never stop. But I'm not gonna make a living doing this. I'm not. So I went out and I got a job. I cut the
mm.
hair. I had the hair down to here. I cut the hair and went out
What
and
did
I
you
became
do?
a teacher's assistant at a school for children with autism. And I loved the job. I did it for about a year and a half. And something started eating into me though, like because I was losing. I'd come home. You have a job. You come home. You eat. You're tired. You just. I started noticing that I'm not painting anymore. I'm not drawing anymore. And I've been
Mhm.
doing this since I was a little kid. Me and my brother used to hang pictures on the wall in my basement. We called it King's Art Center. My parents would come down and buy them. So my whole life, this has just been a part of me. So this was the one little stint in life where I said, you know what, I'm hanging it up. It's all done. I'm not going to make money doing this. I'm not going to make a living doing this. I can't pay my bills with paint.
Right.
And I tried and I failed. So I came back swinging. I came back and said, you know what? I'm going to do this. And again, this is right when we first had my son. He was our firstborn. And, my wife was very understanding. She was like, early on, money was an issue. I was the starving artist. I was doing everything I can to get these jobs. And, then I started meeting a very strange network of people. My whole life I've been surrounded by fantastic artists, but I really met this circle of people that I'm still with to this day. The guy I mentioned earlier, Patrick Anino,
Right.
and they changed my life. They said they looked at I was basically what I was doing is I was going out on mural. They were hiring me as an like mural assistant jobs. I've done a lot of mural work in my life. I actually had my own little business for a while. Did huge, grand murals in mansions, crazy stuff. Um, and
When
one
you
day I
say
was working with
murals, when you say murals, how big are we talking?
See, so this nowadays it's not like you go we do whole rooms like they call it five walls because they even include the ceiling as one of the walls. So depend like we would do like crazy chinoiserie style murals, and it'd be the whole entire bedroom. But the thing is, nowadays you don't do it in the house. It's all done on canvas. So we do it offsite in these big studios and big, huge, like gigantic panels of canvas. So basically, we're hand painting wallpaper on canvas, like just like this is an example. It's just where's the camera?
Right
It's
there.
just a
Yeah.
big roll canvas. So you do them, and then it basically just gets installed like wallpaper. So we would do everything from like fancy chinoiseries to I did like this beautiful one I did. It was a chiropractor, and I did like the kids' room. So it was this big scene with the zebra was the chiropractor, and the dinosaur was getting adjusted, and there's all frogs and birds and butterflies everywhere, that kind of stuff. But again, it's all done off site. It's done in your studio, which is great for the client because you're not clogging up their world. And we just come
Right.
in one day with a wallpaper guy. We hang it up like wallpaper. We do some touch up and we leave. And
Mm.
that's primarily what I did. But I was working with this one guy, and I was on a job with him. He was doing this beautiful gold gilding, and we were doing gold
Patrick.
leafing. And what's that?
Patrick.
This was another guy we
Oh.
deal with. This guy Mark Petoskey, where this
Mhm.
quote came from, and it really kind of stuck to me. We were working. We were doing gold leafing, this master ornate stuff. And we stopped for a second and he looked at me and goes, John, why aren't you doing this for yourself? And it's funny, you know how like there's always somebody says that one thing to you and it like gets in your head. I was like, why am I not doing this for myself? Like why
Mm.
am I going on jobs with people and getting an hourly pay and when they're getting all this money for this grand job and it just kind of stuck and I needed to try to pave my own way and those words really led me to say, I'm doing this. I'm going to figure this out and I'm going to do it. So I actually started my own little mural thing. I was doing good, and some of the bigger guys, like Patrick, for example, he's doing these grand, big buildings outside of buildings like oh, gigantic. So little jobs would come in. He didn't have time for that, so he would throw me the little jobs, and that's kind of what kept me going. And then it kind of reached a point where I was still doing the portraits, and then I started gaining a little momentum with that, and I realized this is what I love to do. Like I'm going to promote this, this way I'm not out in the world and breaking my back and it's labor. Don't get me wrong. Like these murals are labor. You're up on scaffolding all day. It's hard work. And I did a lot of faux finishing too. Um,
Do
so,
you get to do stuff like this?
so
You know,
that's our full circle right there. And my point with the passion versus profession. My goal in life, we all have our goals in life, right? Is to paint what I want, and right now, I don't necessarily get to always paint what I want because I have bills to pay. And right now, that's how I make my living is painting these portrait commissions. And of course, I have goals to where I can just really take a year and empty out my head and just paint. I just want to
yeah,
paint. I
yeah.
just want to paint what's inside of me, but I can't do that
That
because
last that last painting you did, by the way, this one here, kind of reminds me of a
he's
Dali
he's my
painting.
hero.
Were you inspired by Dali?
Still am. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah,
And the thing is
man.
Salvador Dali, like there's so much to him and it's funny because if you really like go deep into him, everybody thinks Salvador Dali, you think melting clocks and like trippy weird shit, but there's so much more to him. There's so much more that he did early on in life with like figural stuff. And I do a lot of figural work. Um, and so that's why somebody like him I really attach to because I watched this progression in his work where he kind of started with like some choppy landscapes and like some
Hmm.
rough figures, and over the years you see him find his style and you see it
Yeah,
morph into this weird shit that we all know Salvador Dali for. Yes, definitely one of my heroes.
that's
Honestly, like
awesome.
that's where I want to go with my personal stuff a lot of times. But again, this is my career, this is my job. And you don't, just like if I was going to work at, say, a factory, you don't get to do what you want at a factory. You got to do your job.
That's right.
So, not, don't get me wrong, I still get to play with paint every day. See, honestly, like a lot of times it's not a finished product that I like. I enjoy the process. It's very therapeutic to me. Whatever I'm doing, and the bottom line is I'm mixing paint. Hey, look at that. I'm
Now,
playing with paint every day, whether it's a face or a tree or whatever. It's playing with paint.
now, I came across this painting of yours, and it looks like you've named it just fuck.
Damn,
Is
damn
that the
straight.
name of it?
So every once in a while, I put something on the easel and I sit there for a second. I take a couple sips of coffee and I say, "Fuck," like I don't want to do this right now or something. It's you do that with anything, not just painting. You do that in life. It's just sometimes you're like, just fuck, you know. So that's
so
what
in
came out.
so in the promotion for this interview today, I had mentioned to folks that you are going to perform a live demonstration
Oh
of
boy, you
art.
ready for
And what I
this?
did not know is that the art that you were going to do was that just fuck thing, right?
That
But
type of
before
style,
we
yes.
but before we get to that, I had a few other random questions for you.
Of course.
I wanted to know. I've seen you do like a bazillion different portraits of very famous people,
Yeah.
um, on Twitter and off of Twitter. There's
Hey.
this one, Kathy Kathy Griffin, right?
Yep. Yep. Yep.
And how many paintings have you given her?
I think she has 4 pieces of mine right now.
Wow.
One of them was a little more private. I
Uh-huh.
don't think it was ever posted. And then I did. I have Bobby from Sarasota. He's was he. We talk a lot. We actually became really good friends. Um, and he's definitely Kathy Griffin's #1 fan for sure. Love you, Bobby. Um, so he kind of this painting here was Bobby's doing. So Kathy went through a lot. She went through a lot with her surgeries and recovery and
Yeah.
everything, and just wanted to make her happy around Christmas time. And obviously, she loves her poochers, loves her dogs, and was talking to Bobby down in Florida, and he said, "Why don't we do this?" And we just kind of surprised her with it. Just it was Randy, Kathy's wife, or I'm sorry, Kathy's husband, sent a bunch of like very, very random dog pictures, and kind of had to piece it all together. It was so it's not like I got a picture of like those dogs posed like that. It was all
You
these
pasted
different.
those together. You come
Yeah,
together.
yeah. Sometimes
Very
that gets
clever.
a little rough because it's different angles in the photo, it's different sizes, and so I kind of have to make it all make sense. So that's always the toughest. I do that with portraits too with a family. Like they'll send me 6 pictures of like their kids, and it's like it's hard. It's tough. The composition part of some of the paintings is really tough. I'm working on one for a guy um, for the. It's a beautiful like kind of rendition of this tank team from the Ukraine. And I have a bunch of different pictures. The guy this guy Tim. He's on Twitter. Um, Sends me all this great information, like what kind of tank this crew is in and everything. So what I'm in the process now of doing is kind of composing all that to be able to
Mhm.
make a painting out of it. It's like I
Right.
got to have the right picture and the right but the angles have to match, and that's where the job gets kind of tricky when you're you know putting it all together like that. But with I can't wait to show you. I can't say too much more about that painting, but this painting that I'm doing for it's going to be something.
Oh, very
It's
cool. I can't
gonna
wait to see it.
yeah, yeah.
So, have you been able to give any of your other portraits of famous people to those celebrities, like
Yes, I've
Tom
sent
Cruise,
a bunch
so.
out. I have a great picture, one of my favorite pictures I posted once in a while. I drew Alyssa Milano's portrait, and she's like, it's hanging like when she does her podcasts and stuff. You can see the picture in the background every time. Like, hey, makes me
Mhm,
happy.
mhm.
But there's a picture of her like just standing like this, like right next to the thing, and it's just one of my favorite pictures. It was in an article. I forgot what it was from, but who else? Sarah Cooper has a couple of my pieces. She has 2 of my
That's
drawings.
cool.
I was
That's
talking
cool.
to her for a while. I don't hear from her too much anymore. I don't see her too much more on Twitter. I know some stuff's coming up with her, and that's fantastic.
Mhm.
Back in 2020, we went back and forth a lot, and she saw the drawings I did. I did the sniff one. Remember when she did?
Yeah, I saw that.
I
Yeah.
love those videos. I mean, again, go back to COVID, and all of a sudden Sarah Cooper came slamming at us on Twitter. It was just like we needed that, needed that. And again, that goes back to my artwork. Those were moments that me here I am like struggling through all this like COVID and everybody's locked down, and seeing something like that, it's so gripping. That's where things I choose to draw. And that's again, we're here, Sarah Cooper right next to me here. I don't know if
Now,
you
if you
remember
only
the
make paintings of the millionaires and the
oh my
billionaires.
God, that's an old one right there. I drew that back in maybe 2019. Wow.
I think this is excellent. I wasn't a big Bernie fan, but I think this picture of him is just phenomenal. I mean, you
Well,
completely
thank you.
captured him.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
bird moment, you had to capture the bird moment. So
What do you
so
have in your hands there?
no, I was just we were talking about Sarah, so I
Ah,
just
yeah.
felt like I don't know if you remember this moment with the cognitively there. I mean, this
Oh,
is the
yeah.
only. This is the part I want everybody to see. We all remember
Person,
person, woman,
woman,
man,
man,
camera,
camera,
TV.
TV. Yeah.
So I have a couple drawings back here while we're talking about that. If you want to see, like, I just pulled a couple out, very random. You know, these are all sprayed with something called workable fixative, because if not, the
Oh, I know
charcoal goes
that.
all
So it
over the
doesn't
place.
smudge.
Yep, yep. So
Yeah.
like I could actually touch this now. Well,
That's
I got a
Rosa
little bit
Parks.
on me. Yep. What else we got? Of course, I don't.
Ah, those the January 6th Capitol
Yep.
officers. Yeah.
And of course, you know, my hero. I've only drawn Mark Hamill probably about. I've drawn and painted him probably about. I can't even. Oh, but if you notice on this one, where is it? Where the hell's the camera?
Right here. No,
See,
no, no. Over,
2020 style.
over the other way. Yeah. Okay,
Oh.
that's
And here's this one I actually drew a very long time ago, and this one I still have not sent to her. And this is one I would love to give to her.
That's
This,
crazy. I would have thought. I remember seeing that one. I would have thought that was the one that got her. Getting the pictures from you.
no, I did a portrait of her and Randy. She has that. She has the dogs and the more private one. I can't. There is a fourth one. Or why I cannot think of it. And I brought this one out just because you just of course had him on your show. So
Yes, Marcus Flowers. That's a good one. Yeah.
So I mean, it's endless. I mean, if you look behind me, I don't know if I got my Randy Rainbow up there. I have my John Lewis up there. And what's funny about these charcoal drawings, though, is I give them away. I constantly give them away on my page, and I send some. Who did I just talk to Jim Acosta yesterday or a couple days ago? I'm sending him his portrait.
That's
Super
cool.
nice guy. I mean, he was very chatty in DMs. It made me so happy. So yeah, I'm sending him. I'm actually sending. I did a portrait where I wish I could pull it up really quick. I don't have it with me, but it's kind of like he's like saying, "Sir, I just want to ask you a question," and you see Trump's hair kind of wisp in, and it like the little cartoon thing says, "I bigly don't like you" or something like that.
Yeah.
So, but I want to. I'm really quick. I'm going to draw like a traditional portrait of him too. I'm sending him both. So, and I always with people like that, I always ask. You know, I don't ever ask for personal info. I ask for a safe place to send it. You know, so a
Right.
lot of random ones have gone out that, you know, I just kind of send them and I never hear back. So I hope they got them, you know.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So you, over the past, I became aware of you. I want to say, probably before 2020. I want to say maybe
yeah,
around 2018. I think was when I first started seeing your stuff. I think,
that sounds,
and it's phenomenal. And you
oh,
seem
thank
to
you.
you seem to create art that reflects the times that we are in. They're like, when you post something, it's usually has something to do with what's happening, whether we are all cheering on Stacey Abrams or COVID
That
became
was
a
my last
thing,
drawing of 2020.
or the anti-max maskers, anti-vaxxers from
Oh, yeah.
MAGA, um, Dr. Fauci touching touching his forehead. You know, you kind of nobody asked you to do this. You kind of just stepped in and you filled a need, and there is a need. I believe that there is a need. Like all day long, we can watch CNN, MSNBC, whatever. We can watch the news, and we can doom scroll on Twitter. And a lot of
Of
people
course,
frequently do doom scroll, and we see
of course.
horrible things. And some of your drawings or paintings do reflect horrible things, but you
Absolutely.
experience it differently
Can I
as
give you an
art.
example of that? This was probably one of the hardest things I ever drew. I don't, Mike, can you see it?
I can do you one better, my friend.
Oh, you
I
have it
can
lined
just
up. Good, good.
I can just put it up there, ladies and gentlemen. This is John's latest um, uh, drawing, and this is of a child underneath a desk um, at this is at the Robb Elementary School in Uvalde, Texas, and the pencil is broken here, and it says thoughts on one side of the broken pencil and prayers on the other side. This is very clever, and it's very sad too.
Hmm. So
What were you?
little story about this drawing. You know, I have
Mhm.
a like we said earlier, I have a 11 and 13-year-old. So I asked them, and it was funny, like the choice of words. I said to them, how many active shooter drills have you done in school? And they looked at me funny, like we've never done that. I'm like, what? And so I'm like, did you do it last year? And she's like, no, we've never done an active shooter drill. And then my wife from the other room yells, "It's a lockdown drill." And both my kids were like, "Oh yeah, we do lockdown drills all the time." I was like, "Okay." It's just, but it was something about that got inside me weird. It was like, and so they explained to me what they do and like where they go, and the teacher locks they explained to me the drills, and that they actually do them very often. And so obviously, as a parent of two kids in school, you see this all the time. I don't live very far from Sandy Hook. Obviously, that was like, I couldn't even tell you the feeling in my stomach when that happened.
Oh
And
my
it
God.
just
Yeah.
keeps happening everywhere. And that's where something like this comes out, because sometimes I'm just a guy in sitting here in Connecticut, like we feel like we're helping, and we sometimes we feel like we're reaching out to people, and we want to create a moment and stir and change things, but sometimes our voices don't feel heard. And that's where I turn to my artwork, because I need to
Mm.
let it out. I need to let the beast out. This
Yeah.
is something very close to me because of my children. I'm scared to fucking death, you know?
Yeah.
And that's where something like this comes out of me. And I remember I think it was I just drew this, like, I think it was Sunday morning. I don't even, because of Memorial, I'm lost on what day it is. I think it was Sunday morning. I just sat there with my coffee in my chair. I actually drew this down in my garage. Me
This
and my wife
Sunday,
have
it
our,
just passed.
I think so. Yeah, I just drew that one. Yeah, that's brand new.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I sat there with my coffee. Me and my wife have our own little escape area down in our garage. The garage is actually right under this room, and we have
Hmm.
chairs set up there. It's our nice little area for it's just me and her. It's our spot, and that's what I
Nice.
did. I sat there with my coffee, like with my legs up, and that's what came out of me. You know, I had to let it out, and that's what happens with a lot of things you see, like the MAGA thing, holding the little COVID thing. I'm
Yeah.
angry. We're all angry in our own ways, and luckily artwork for me, and when you see that kind of work, it's an escape for me. It gets it out of me.
You did
So
these back in 2018, I believe. Did you do this on vinyl?
yes, I do tons and tons and tons of paintings on vinyl. I actually have one right behind me. I'll grab it in a second. But yeah,
Let
March for
me
Our
ask you.
Lives thing, that was crazy. Like, I did in total 15 to 20 paintings for all this March, and we auctioned them all off, and 100% of the money all went to victims' families, and we raised, I want to say it was like 18 to 20,000 on all the work. So, and it all went to the victim family funds, and it was
Wow.
all like, I didn't even see the money. It was directly linked to all the,
Yeah.
it was good. It was good stuff. So yeah,
That's
I'm a
incredible.
vinyl collector. I'm a music junkie. I have thousands and thousands and thousands of records in my basement. So I
These vinyl paintings, though, these paintings on the vinyl records, they're not playable, right? Once you paint on it, you
No,
can't
no.
play it.
See, as a vinyl collector, I'm a vinyl nerd. I've been collecting vinyl for over 20 years. So over the year, I go to Goodwills, I go to tag sales, I dig through these dirty boxes of records all the time, and I find gems, I find beautiful stuff.
Mm.
But over the years, I'll have a great copy of, say, like Curb Dare's Phantasmagoria, but then, or I'm sorry, I have a shitty copy of this album, but then I find a better one. This one's scratched, it's unplayable. So I have this stack. It's a huge stack in my basement of scratched, unplayable records. They're shit. But there's everything in there, from, Bruce Springsteen to anything. It's all there. So I don't get rid of them. I use them for that purpose. And here, let me grab one. I have one right here. This is an example. See?
Share.
Yeah. But see, a
That's
lot of
beautiful.
times, now I wanted to paint Cher on a vinyl, but I didn't have a wrecked Cher vinyl. That's so weird how the camera works. I didn't, so sometimes I'll just paint it on a weird scratch up. This is actually, it's one of these like orchestras that play Beatles music, but it's
Yeah,
all scratched up. It can't be played, but I just paint over the label and do it on the vinyl. But if you look closely, it's actual vinyl.
that is very cool.
So yeah, I love doing. I can't even tell you how many of those I've done. Probably in the hundreds. So people order those from me a lot. I do a lot of those. I've been charging the same flat rate price for those all my life. I've never changed it. So
All right, John. I need for us to jump uh to the
making
demo
a mess.
part of this interview. Yeah. So explain to us, if you wouldn't mind, please, what
Yes.
this process is. There a name for this?
Yes. Yes. Now, if anybody out there watching this is an actual acrylic, it's called acrylic pouring. There might even be a more professional name for it.
Like this,
I'm a
right?
portrait painter. Let me start this by saying I'm a portrait painter. I am not an acrylic pour painter. I discovered this, but this style got very big. Like, here's one. Ugh. So this is one I did recently. Now this is called acrylic pouring. So what I'm about to show you, I want to show you how easy and fun, and you can't mess it up. That's what's fun. So this is the tutorial part, kids.
Oh, shit. So we can actually do this.
You can do this. This is something that is beyond. I have had my kids do it. They have them hanging in their rooms. But the thing is, there are people who do acrylic pours, like that's their thing, and they're bizarre with them. Look it up when we're done. They control it more than I do. They control it in these ways that it's gorgeous. It's unbelievable. It's not what I do. So again, I'm a portrait painter, but I love it. I like painting, like, this is one that's about the guy who bought my Jon Lion painting behind me here. I also did this for him.
Oh,
so
nice.
What I love to do is do the pour, and then I just do something over it, So you want to see me make a mess. Real quick, that's the Lennon one with, see, now the same thing. What I'm about to show you is that's what I did for the background, and then I got Lennon. So
fantastic.
Yes. So you want me to make a mess?
Yes.
You ready?
Yes, please.
So again, this is called acrylic pouring. So give me a couple minutes and I'm going to explain this to you. So basically, I'm going to put it on the canvas. Colors? What's that?
Do I get to pick colors?
Yes, this is yours. Oh, but let me explain something here.
Okay.
Here I have a blank canvas. The metaphorical blank canvas. We're going to make a mess on this canvas right now. You're going to help me pick the colors. We're going to this takes about 24 hours to dry once this mess we're about to make. So what I'm going to do is we're going to make a mess. I'm going to paint something on this tomorrow after it dries, and we're going to give this away on Friday on my page.
Make a mess. Make a mess.
Let's get right to it, right? All right, so you're going to get rid of me. You don't have to see me anymore because I'm going to try to get the camera as good as I could on the, bear with me here. This is the part that's very unprofessional with moving everything around.
This is live, you guys. This is live.
This is live, baby. Are you good? Can you see the canvas?
Yeah. I see some little thing, pencils and pens. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. See, I got that for Christmas. Isn't it cute?
Nice. Very nice.
I'm not very, all right. So the first thing you want to do is you want to give so you want to put a base coat on. So in here, Ben, if you're watching, Ben, you know what this thing's all about. My buddy at Orlando Ribbons sends me his recycled containers. I use them every day for my dirty water, for this. All right, so anyway, in here is a mixture. Now, everybody who does this technique has different recipes, has different ratios. So if you can see, what this is just straight white acrylic paint and something called Floetrol. I don't know if you've ever heard of Floetrol, but it's like, they sell it at Home Depot. It's like a paint thinner, basically. They put it into like paint sprayers. So it makes the paint just thin out a bit. But the nice thing about it is it doesn't lose its pigment, right? Anyway, make a mess, right? I'm going to put gloves on because I have to touch my phone and camera and all that afterwards. Normally, I don't care about that because I live with paint on me. Right.
But you also don't want to live with paint on your phone. So
let me also explain. I don't do this stuff up here. I have a spot in my basement. I have a space in my basement where I have these big tubs set up, and that's where I make my messes. My wife kind of grimaced when I told her I was doing this here today. So if you see, I made this nice little tray with plastic. Anyway, my goal
is this canvas on a flat surface? Is there any tilt to it at all?
No. Oh, you got it for this. You want it flat. So if you notice, I have cups down there. I have it raised because all the paint is going to drip off the side. What's that?
It looks like you taped those cups down.
I did just so when I go back and so they don't because again, this is not my normal setup. This is very makeshift for this.
Okay.
I don't
Mhm.
do this kind of messy stuff up here. This, again, I do this in my basement. So the cups is just to kind of raise the canvas, because when I do this, what you're about to see, all the paint is going to drip off the sides, and it's a
Okay.
huge mess. So
Drip
I'm just going to
drip
begin.
away.
I'm going to drip away. So I'm going to do, the fun thing about this and why you can't mess it up is because you can just choose any colors. So, but first we want to create a background. So look at that. I mean, that's a big gloppy mess of paint, right? I'm just pouring this crap on. So you, yes, are going to pick the colors, but for starters, if you noticed, I'm just dumping a little blue in there.
I was gonna say
'Cause
blue. Blue is my favorite color. So
no,
that's
you're not picking yet.
no.
This is still for the background. See, just give it a
Okay.
slight little mix. I'm going to dump that in there too,
Why blue?
because I like blue.
Okay.
So here's where we start to get messy. Now, if you notice, I'm in a big circle, right?
Yep.
We got to cover the canvas. So you pick it up and you kind of start moving it around,
Oh,
and you
here
let
we
it
go.
do its
Here's the
thing.
mess. Here's
Here's
the
the
mess.
mess. Hell yeah. Well, we're not done with the mess. So look at that. Now, what's
I
fun
like
about
it.
this is you can't guess what you're going to do. It's some of these people who are great pourers maybe can guess a little better. Want to see something cool? You ready for this? You got to watch this
Go.
part. Ready?
Go for it.
This is when you swipe. So I don't know how well you can see like what's going on. I hope it's close enough, but ready?
Oh yeah. What is that you're swiping it with?
Oh, just like a spackle, like a putty knife.
Okay.
All right. So very random, no rhyme or reason. My friend, you are up. Now these are covered in paint because again, I normally don't wear gloves. These are metallic paints. We have a nice copper, this bronzy gold. This is like gold. Got silver, and this one's ugly. We're not using that one. So for
So
starters, I want you to pick a metallic.
um bronze.
So like this bronzy.
Yep.
Okay. I want you to pick two of these.
Silver.
Okay. So we take these. Now these paints are already, they're called pouring paints. They already have additive in it, which help make what's called, now I don't know how well you can see what's happening here, but the
No, I
paint
can't.
starts to open up and they're called cells. So let me just dump this paint in.
Is there some kind of chemical in those paints that makes them open up?
So what's nice is the initial thing I put down is just, again, it's regular acrylic paint, and I mixed it with Floetrol. I do about 3 parts Floetrol to 1 part paint. It's mostly Floetrol, and that Floetrol is what, when this is done, like when I post this, you'll see the detail better, how everything is opening up and it looks crazy. That's
Mhm.
what makes that happen. These paints, now what I just did there is I dumped the silver in the two colors you picked in the same cup, right?
Uh-huh. The silver and the bronze.
Yep. Again, no rhyme or reason, right? So we're going to do this. Just going to dump it. And wherever you put that paint, shit's going to start to happen. Now, this is where you got to start to make decisions. I like the swipe technique because it really brings out here's one. It's really what brings out the cells. The cells are,
Yeah.
again, like where the paint separated. So you can do something fun like this. Just a simple little swipe.
Is your swiping what causes those like bubbles to appear?
Yep. Now if oh well, I'm gonna get paint all over my tripod. Let me see if I can get a little closer here. That's not gonna work, is it? Here, you know what
Yeah,
I'll do?
I
So you can
just saw the
see,
bubbles appear on the upper right on that
yeah,
thing you
here,
just
I'm gonna lift
swiped.
it. See when you see, here's, watch. This is where you could also start to play.
Make a
You just kind
mess.
of tilt it
Make a
around.
mess.
Look at that mess. Look at that. Dripping it. But look at what it's doing. to the painting. Now, do you see
Yeah.
that part up there? Cool stuff.
Yeah.
We're not done though. We got a couple more minutes to do this, right?
Yeah.
Where are we at?
We got about 5 more.
Give me, you got blue, red. I'm choosing black. You got blue, red, yellow. Give it to me. I want to show you something really quick.
I wanted purple, so can I say blue and red?
Do I actually have? I have purple.
Ah, then give me purple.
Look at this. Ready? This is what I want to show you.
I like purple so much.
I love purple. So you said purple.
Is that a straw?
What's that?
Is that a straw?
Yep. You'll see.
That orange thing?
All right. So we got purple, right?
Yeah.
Watch this. We're going to go. Give me another color. Well, I'm choosing black.
Red.
Okay. We're doing this together. See, we're creating together.
I'm not seeing red. Yeah.
This is really cool. Oh, of course. Come on. You had to pick red, didn't you?
Yes.
I should have prepped all these bottles, but okay. I'm picking another color. We're playing pick one. It's like when you used to play Matchbox and you played pick one. This is one of my favorites. I love this copper. All right. I hope I could do this with the camera in the way. So straw. Here we go.
Mm-hmm. You're blowing air onto that paint.
Air. Yep. Now, when I can show you this more close up. And it's endless. It's you just decide where you want to stop.
Oh, that's cool as hell. It's cool.
So
very cool.
I don't know how well you can see. And again, I'll show you after. I'll post a better picture of what we did. Now you look at this on this rough video and you're like, it's a mess, whatever. Wait until you see when this dries, what this is going to look like. What I like to do too.
Is it going to change drastically from what we're looking at?
It's barely going to change at all. That's what's beautiful about this paint. See that? Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Oh my God, please don't drip on my rug. But see, and again, you could do whatever you want. You can keep going if you want. If you're not happy with it, you can keep playing until you get something you like. I can't wait to show you a better picture of all this area because it's really looking cool. All right, I know we're short on time, so I'm going to stop this. I'm going to show you this later.
Mm-hmm.
When this dries, I'm going to show you what we did. And you're going to be like, what the hell? That doesn't look like what we did on the video. It's going to look the same, but when you actually see a clear picture of it, I got paint all over me.
One of our viewers said, you can also sneeze on it for a more abrupt spray.
Yeah. You know, let me fix this. What's funny is, in learning about pouring, it's relatively new to me. Again, I'm not a acrylic pourer. This is kind of new to me. Did I screw this all up? Are we good? So again, even a couple of these that I posted, like I have people come on and be like, oh, you should be doing this. And I look at it as I'm playing with paint. I'm making a mess. I'm experimenting. I learn every day. And that's the beauty of being an artist is you just learn every day. You don't, this is normally what I look like on a daily basis.
Mm-hmm.
Just so you know. But
have the kids adopted your love for art? Have you seen any of that?
I have. Yeah, my daughter draws wonderfully. She draws beautiful. She has her very into anime, and she really draws beautiful anime characters. My son too. They both have their own little niche. My daughter, I'm very into music, and my daughter actually, with the whole genre of the arts, she attached to the violin, and that's her thing now. And she's kicking ass. She's doing beautifully. But, stuff like what we just did right there, we'll do that once in a while. I'll just put everything out and say, let's go, let's make a mess. And they just start throwing paint around and then they hang them in the room. It's because on their own, they're beautiful. They look really cool. But I like to take that and apply a portrait to it or something to it, a flower or something. So
Yeah.
just another element for me. So
Excellent.
I can't wait
My
to show
friend.
you this, a better picture of this, because I'm
I'm
looking at it
excited.
do
I
its
can't
thing.
wait to see it.
Because what happens is the cells open up a little bit and you get it looks, I'll show you. I'll show everybody.
I'm curious. Have you ever painted a picture of Johnny Depp?
I have not. I
I
have
don't
not.
know
And
if
what's
you've been
funny is I
following
actually have a
that
really
trial.
cool, what's that?
I don't know if you've been following. Have you been following
I
that
heard
trial?
today. Yes, I saw it today.
The
Yes.
verdict just came out. Did
Yes.
you did follow it or not so much?
Not as closely as I follow some things,
Yeah,
and it's, we have so much coming at us all the time.
I didn't
I
follow it
did
at
not
all.
say that again.
I didn't follow it at all. I was just seeing people reacting to it on a daily
Same,
basis, and
same. Like I
it's
couldn't sit here and have a conversation about it. Like I don't know enough about it.
yeah. If
I
you're not
love Johnny
following
Depp.
the
I've always loved Johnny Depp. I'm like, why
you
is
know
this happening?
if you're not following the day to day, release of information and discussion of all this information, you
Right,
can't speak intelligently about it. And
right.
on the one hand, I understand that a man very well can be abused, can be
Of
beaten.
course,
It's
of course.
uncommon, but it does
I've seen
happen.
it in
It
my
does
life.
happen. Um, so that's on the one hand, and on the other hand, I when I see people cheering the verdict for Johnny Depp, and these people, you look at who's cheering, and it's a lot of those right wing trolls,
Yeah,
those
yeah.
guys that are cisgender or whatever, these
Right,
white
right.
guys who, like, do you really want to be cheering alongside these guys?
I know, I know,
Is it
I know.
possible that they could possibly get it right? I don't know. So
Imagine that.
for the most part, I've stayed out of
I
it.
have to, and it's like I feel like that's such a big one, and we're supposed to like honestly like it's one that I had a hard time in the beginning with all of it because all my life I've loved Johnny Depp. I saw him in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, and that was it. Me and Johnny Depp were gonna get married one day. That's it. Sorry, Ash, wherever you are in the universe, but he was gonna be my husband one day, and it just never happened. So
Yeah, yeah.
instead, I married my wife. So I saw Fear
Lucky
and Loathing in
you.
Las Vegas before I met my wife. So
So, John, we are now at the part of the show, which is now my favorite, absolute favorite part of the show. I think you know what it is. It is
I think
time
I
for
do. Oh,
the
see me. I just kind of did this. Wait, wait, wait,
it
wait.
is
I gotta.
time for the guessing game, and I have four different categories from which
Oh
you may choose.
boy,
One is called Name That Hall and Oates Song.
pass like a
Two
motherfucker on that one.
Two is called, wait, let me read them all first, right? Two
Yes,
is
yes.
called Who the Faheezy. And this one is basically I zoom in on a part of somebody's face, the nose, just the eye, a
Oh my
part of their
goodness.
mouth, right? And you have to guess who that person is.
Holy shit.
There's another one called Name That Billy Joel Song.
Huh. I saw him.
And the last one is I Should Have Known That, which is basically a trivia guessing game of things that are so common that by golly, you should know that.
So let me interject. You created this one to embarrass the fuck out of me, didn't you?
Oh
No, I'm
no,
just
no, no,
kidding.
no. My viewers have played this game with me on a regular
No, I know
basis.
I've seen it. I love it.
Yeah.
Ha, that's a tough one. You know what? Because we've talked so much about portrait work, and you know what I do when I use for reference for the portraits I do, I use my iPad a lot, so I do zoom in so I can see details. I almost feel like I have to do that one. I really like that last one. This is tough. Give
Wait,
me the
this one here?
Fahisi. I think
Yeah.
I'm going
So
with.
so I specifically prepped this one for you as an
Oh,
artist.
oh boy.
I assumed I wouldn't worry, but I assumed as an artist you've got a good eye for detail. So,
Well,
so how this works is when you guess one correctly, I will, right, I will strike the cowbell
So we're not going to hear that cowbell too often, are we?
And if you get one wrong, you will either
Get used
hear
to the
that
Family Feud sound.
or that's the
I grew up
Price
with
is
those two
Right.
shows. 11 o'clock, Chicken Noodle Soup.
Indeed. Okay, so are you ready?
I hope so. But
Okay.
yes.
Here's the first one.
Adam
Name.
Schiff.
Oh!
I've
You are
drawn him,
correct.
so I've studied those eyes.
Uh-huh. Very distinctive eyes. Okay.
I did a
You
drawing
laid
and a
that one
painting of him. So yeah, I zoomed in on those eyes before.
out. Okay, here's the next one. You ready?
See, I'm cocky now. Nancy.
Booyah!
Wait. It's not my final answer. Don't forget, I'm doing this on my phone, so this is really small. Looks like Nancy. I'm going with Nancy. Final answer.
Well, I was already reaching for the cowbell, dude.
Oh, I can't see you. You're like the size of a penny on my phone here.
Yes. That was Speaker Nancy
Yes.
Pelosi.
God, I've drawn and painted her about 6 or 7 times.
I'm getting some complaints that people are saying these are too easy. They do like it when I'm able to stump
people,
somebody.
he's a good guy. He doesn't want to embarrass me.
Here's the next one.
That looks like Marge. Let me hold on. Again, this is my phone, so it's really small. Let me back up a little bit. I'm going with 3 toes, I think. Hold on.
Final answer?
Yes. Oh.
You are correct.
I love it.
Marge 3 Toes.
Maybe I should have been proper and said her name, but that's her name
Well
to me.
done.
So. Actually, she's gangrene to me. Marge gangrene to me. So.
Yes. Okay, here's the next one.
Oh, jeez. I wish I could zoom that. I don't know what's going on with the teeth there. You're killing me on this one. I think we're about to hear some Price is Right shit happen. Can I get back to you tomorrow on this one? Shit. You got me. Yeah.
We were looking for Joy Reid. Yes.
Portraits of her. Everyone up there so far I've drawn. I should have.
Oh, we have people. Right? We had people guessing. By the way,
did anybody guess that one?
Oh yeah, Misha Oliver.
Oh, look at that, Joy.
Beat me by a country mile. Bernadette, Tracy M. Yeah, basically everybody.
Well, all you guys who got that right, be sure to follow me so I can follow you back because you did it and I didn't. Now,
okay, here's the next one. You ready?
Now I'm sweating. All right. Oh, that's an easy one. I'm not gonna even answer it. Wait, where's my little turtle? I have a turtle statue somewhere. Ring the damn bell. Do I have to hold up my turtle statue?
You must say who it is.
It's Mitch. My turtle statue would have qualified as an answer.
Okay. If you can find that, that'd be great.
Oh
Here's the next one.
Look at that face. Oh, come on. Do I have to do a line before I answer this one? Or wait, here we go. Wait, are my hands going fast enough? Air quotes is my answer. I call him Cokie McAir quotes. That's my name. Ring the damn bell.
Give us his name.
Donald Trump Jr.
There we go.
You made me say that into the universe.
Yes.
Oh, he looks so sad.
Okay, let's see. Who do I have next?
Poor Bob.
Here's the next one.
That looks like what's her face? Fucking Sarah, right? See, it sucks because my phone is blocking part. The little strap holding my phone is blocking part of this. But that's definitely fucking Sarah Sanders, right?
Yeah, you are correct, sir.
I almost said something mean. I'm not gonna
You're
say
on
it.
a roll, except for the Joy Reid
I
thing
know,
that
and
you
I love
tried.
Joy. I mean, that hurts. That hurts. Oh boy. Trump's UK buddy. Ding ding. Good Lord. Oh my God.
Boris
Look, I want to do that with
Johnson.
my hair. How would I look with that hair? I wonder.
And now I'm afraid that this next one is also way too easy. I already know what the next one is.
Oh my God. That's another bed buddy for Trump. Wait, see, you should have went down a little further so I could see the weird shave down the side there. That's a hairdo I would love. Kim there.
Kim
Yes.
Jong-un.
I'm definitely doing that hairdo. I could rock that hairdo. Let's both do it. Just
It's
for like
such
a
a
month.
weird. I don't have enough hair to make that work.
Oh, either do I. Actually. AOC.
And he wraps it up with a win.
What's
AOC
funny
is
is like
correct.
almost everybody there I've drawn with a few exceptions. And again, with my process, I always, even I'll print out pictures for reference and that's what I do. I zoom in like that. And so I can
I
do
was
fine details.
I was really hoping you were going to pick. I'm surprised you didn't go for Hall and Oates. You don't know any Hall and Oates songs?
I do. I think I'd be stumped there though, because it's been a long time.
Really?
Yeah, I don't really I'm very weird with music. I'm all over the place. So, again, being a vinyl collector, it sends you down these weird rabbit holes all the time. And so, yeah, like I haven't really spun the Hall and Oates in a very long time. I have to say, I think I've
Interesting.
retired some of it. So,
Okay, well, this next and final segment of the show is called My Favorite Things. There are no
awesome.
wrong answers because these are the things that are your favorite. They're very personal to you.
I love it.
This is meant to be rapid fire.
Oh
Um,
boy.
so let's go. Let's get at it. Favorite artist?
Favorite artist. Um, Older style, I would have to say Salvador Dali because of everything he's done. Inspiration. I come from that background.
Favorite music to paint to?
Lately, this is funny. I've been Miles Davis. That's what I've been listening
Ooh,
to. Yep.
why Miles?
Miles puts me in this, again, I go through a lot of weird phases with music, but I've been like strictly actually Miles Davis lately because it puts me in this zone. Whereas, because sometimes there's a lot going on in the world, kids, this, and something breaks in the kitchen or whatever. It just allows me to tune everything out. It puts me in,
Mm,
and it's not bad. Nothing is ever just background to me. I get in there. I get in there with them, and I get my hands start going with that crazy, that vibe. Kind of Blue is like that's my favorite actually. So
cool,
yeah, that
cool.
would be Miles Davis. That's not
That's
what
an
I
excellent
like. I'm
choice,
not
by the
saying
way.
that's what I listen to for my musical regular enjoyment, but for painting, that's what I've been putting on.
See, I picture actually when you said Miles Davis, I pictured you doing that acrylic drip thing to Miles. He has that fusion
Oh
was
yeah.
his style.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's really helpful when I'm actually like sitting at my easel. When I'm sitting there doing this because when you're sitting at the easel, like I joke around a lot, I say I got to go chain myself back to my easel because that's what it feels like sometimes. Like I spend a lot of time in front of that easel, and and I get up close. See this? This is just a curtain rod, but it's called what traditional painters call a maul stick. And when you're painting, you do this. It's so you don't get your hand in the painting, you know.
Ah,
But what happens, like the whole Miles Davis thing, is I find my face. This is something kind of weird. I never thought I'd explain this, but as I'm painting, my face keeps getting closer and closer and closer, and it's the music. It like really is pulling me in, and so all of a sudden
interesting.
I'm locked in. I'm locked into this position, and I can't break from it. And I just go. I just go. I go. I go. I go. The song stops, and I kind of like whew, I shake out of it for a second. So
Very cool.
yeah.
Favorite work of art. Now, this can be a
It's
painting,
tough.
it can be a sculpture, it can be a photograph, a work of art. Favorite.
Favorite work of art. That is a severely, severely tough question to answer. As somebody who has been in the arts their whole life, and I've seen Starry Night, I've seen so many pieces, like famous pieces, but as an artist who does it every day, sometimes I look at these famous pieces, I'm like, meh, it's like it's not my thing. Um, but I guess I have to give you an answer, huh?
Hmm.
Um, Favorite work of art, probably Klimt, The Kiss. That would probably, well, it's tough. That's a tough one.
Who did you say? Probably who?
The Klimt, Gustav Klimt, the Kiss. That would probably be one of my favorites. It's
Let's go with that. If
we'll
you
go
want
with
to
that.
revise it later on,
It's a tough
then
one for me to answer
we will
because just
allow it.
like with music, again, I'm absorbed in the art world, so it's like all over the place. So it's hard. It's hard. You see amazing works of art that are famous, and I'm supposed to like, but I don't. So it's weird. My
There is
favorite
no
work of art is
supposed to.
whatever I'm working on.
Favorite TV show to binge watch.
Oh well, we are in season 4 of Stranger Things at the moment. We have one more episode. Tonight is the
Dude,
final for us. I'm
I just
dying
started
to see it.
I just started watching that show last night because
From the
my
beginning, like
son,
season 1?
season one,
Oh,
season
you
one.
haven't seen it yet?
No, I mean I started
Oh,
watching. I think a few years back, I might have watched 2 episodes of it, and I was like distracted by other shows.
stay in and get through it. We're binge crazy people because let me say in 30 seconds, let me explain something. We've talked about support systems. We've talked about the craziness of family and life and bills and mortgages and painting and whatever your job is. I have a rule. Like go Netflix and chill. Um, I use that time. I need that time. It's when after the kids have gone to bed and we've never had a TV in our bedroom, and we just recently put a TV in our bedroom, and I need that time. And to me, it's not necessarily like, oh, the show is amazing, I need to watch this show. It's my time where I joke around to my wife. I say, let's go watch other people's problems, and it's it's just a tune out. It's just so we are. I like your question. What show do you like to binge watch? But it's a hard question to answer because we do it every night. Every night, I have to do that. It's my
Yeah,
time to decompress and just blah. So we watch every show. We've probably seen. There's so much we've seen. So
Ozark.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
Great
don't even know
show.
what to say about that. Like, I think
Yeah.
if we start talking about that, I think I'm gonna have to walk into my kitchen. Good shit though.
Okay. Favorite art museum.
That's another tough one. I live near Yale, near Yale University. It's in New Haven, Connecticut. Well, you're near me, near this area. You know where Yale is,
Mhm.
but New Haven, Connecticut. Their museums are fantastic. If you're in the Connecticut area, if you're in the New Haven area, go to the museums at Yale. You're going to see Van Goghs. You're going to see all sorts of stuff. Of course, you go to the MoMA, you're blown away. You go to places, like that, you can't. They're breathtaking. So you're going to see in Hartford, we have beautiful. You get to see there's dollies in there, and to stand in front of an actual Salvador Dali painting is just for me, it's amazing. And that's right in
Yeah.
Hartford, which is 20 minutes away from the house. So luckily, I do have access to some beautiful museums. Yale museums are fantastic. I live near the Peabody Museum too, which is I don't know if you know what that is, but
I've
it's
heard of it.
oh it's an amazing place. That's also in New Haven, part of Yale and all that. So amazing museums in my area. I'm actually very lucky for that. Very fortunate.
Favorite subject to draw or paint.
Hmm. Well, there is as I said before, there is the passion versus profession, right? You see the profession in me where you see me painting portraits. You see me, that's the profession. A lot of these charcoal drawings that you see, this I've held this up like 18 times during our little time here. I
Yeah.
love doing this kind of stuff because to me, it's contemporary. Oh, and I held this up earlier for you. This was I did a little time lapse for Don Winslow for that. I love
Hmm.
drawing stuff like that where it's not a traditional portrait. It's something that nobody else really drew. It's like, the one you showed before, the little MAGA bracelet hand holding the COVID thing. I
Yeah.
like to create stuff like that because it's just, for me, it's just, those are doodles to me. That's what doodling for 20 plus years has turned into that. Honestly, a
Hmm.
lot of these drawings, when you see a drawing like that, that's not something that I sat down and I got reference pictures and I got all set up and I'm going to draw this. That's a doodle. And again, people are like, oh,
It's a
you're great,
pretty
you're great, you're great.
elaborate
But
doodle.
but if you doodle for 20 years, if you play guitar for 20 years, you're going to get good. You're going to
It
be able to
reminds
draw a hand.
it reminds me of this episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm where Larry
Mm.
David was invited to this event in support of abused women who had been abused, but he had to do a doodle, right? So in his mind, a doodle is something you just do when you're on the phone and you happen to be
Right.
drawing some shapes or whatever. But when he got there to this thing, people like they had works of art. They pulled it out of portfolio cases and were putting it up on the wall.
Nice.
It's like nobody told me that this had to be super fancy. It's very funny.
Right.
That's a
But
great show too.
that's exactly it. I mean, that's what, I some of the ones I held up to you before, those are doodles. It's a refined doodle. It's like if you knit, I look at people who do crazy things with like fabric and knits. I'm like, how the fuck do they do that? But the thing is they've
Yeah.
been doing it and you're honing your skills, you're mastering your art. And I turn doodles into, I don't have to look at a picture of a hand to draw a hand because I've drawn so many hands in my life. Been drawing
Hmm.
hands for 20 plus years. Been drawing
Yeah.
eyes for 20 plus years. So my doodles are that. And I love to draw eyes. I have, if I took you around, it's like there's eyes. All my
The very
sketchbooks are
first
filled. What's that?
the very first picture in my slideshow was your painting with the eye.
With the one with the trees?
No, here, this one.
Ah, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, there's something like that. That's nothing like, even like the one with the trees coming off.
Trees. I love that one too. Yeah.
That's just, again, I've drawn from doing portraits for years and years and years. I mean, can you imagine how many eyes I've painted? I've painted a lot of eyes in my days. So it's just, to me, that's my doodle. I'm in a restaurant waiting and I'm drawing eyes on napkins. Just,
So then, can we say, as your answer to that question, favorite
oh yeah,
subject
well,
to
there was supposed
draw
to be an answer
or
here, huh?
paint, the eye? Huh?
Yeah,
Can we say that?
yeah, yes.
Good. Favorite actor?
Ooh, that's tough. Well, my wife's not here, so I could say I've always had a thing for Mila Kunis. I didn't say that out loud.
Oh,
No,
it's too
she's not my
late.
favorite actress.
It's okay.
Johnny Depp. I've loved him over the
Really?
years. I loved everything. I love the way he can change his character. A lot of people before all of this, even had weird feelings about, because Jack and the Pirates of the Caribbean, all that. But like he's a very, very versatile actor. He takes on a role like again, go back to Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Like he hung out with Hunter S. Thompson. Like he took on that role. And
Mm.
I just feel like he has a dedication that, a lot of people don't have. So I would probably have to say Johnny Depp, and I'm probably the people who hate Johnny Depp are now gonna unfollow me, but hey, this is where we
I
are,
wouldn't
aren't
sweat
we?
it. Favorite singer or group?
Wow, that's a tough one too. Um, I would say something over
These
the
are meant to be
years.
rapid fire. You know these are meant to be rapid fire,
Yeah,
right?
but I'm horrible at that. So you get me gabbing, you're fucked. So I'm fucked. I don't know. You're just gonna hit off, huh? Donovan. I would probably say Donovan. Over the
Donovan?
years, that's something I always go back to. Yeah.
Favorite Twitter account?
Brooklyn Dad, I mean, come on, hello.
That's
Favorite Twitter
aside from
account.
me, my friend.
No, you're not my
Aside from
I'm
me.
just kidding. Favorite Twitter account. I love Devin Cow. I've done a lot of stuff for Devon Cow. She's helps me out so much.
Say that again.
Devon Cow, with
Oh,
the
Devin
whole
Cow. Oh, yeah, yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yes, yes.
Huh.
I love her. She's, yeah.
I didn't
But
even know that
also
was a she.
Orlando. I can't not say Orlando Ribbons. He's been in what he does to the whole community and what he does to honor the 49 who are the tragedy down in Pulse, Orlando, which is coming up on June 12th. You got to wear your ribbon.
Hmm.
Contact at Orlando Ribbons. See how I do that?
Yeah.
Ben. I would have to probably say Ben because we've grown a friendship way beyond Twitter. We text all the time. We talk all the time. I finally got to meet him last summer. He was up here. Got to give him his drawing. He put this on my wrist back last August. It has not been off my wrist since. So
Nice.
you know what? I would probably say favorite Twitter account is Orlando Ribbons. Definitely. Please
Walking or
follow him.
jogging?
Say that again.
Walking or jogging?
Sitting and drinking coffee. I'm a walker. I'm not a jogger.
Walker. Orange juice or apple juice?
Ooh, definitely orange juice.
Waffles or pancakes?
Waffles. I got an awesome waffle maker. I make a hell of a waffle.
Charcoal or paint?
Oof, killing me. Paint. Definitely paint.
If you could live anywhere, where would that be?
Not where I live now. We're looking to move down south in 10-year plan, 5 to 10-year plan. I have rheumatoid arthritis, and the winters here are destroying me. So we're looking down. My wife was born in Puerto Rico, lived in Florida. She doesn't want to move to Florida. But we are looking at different areas down south. I need warm. I need to be in warm weather.
So in your mind, you don't have like one ideal place. Like, yeah, I would like to live.
Well,
there.
Asheville area, but the thing is, these days you can't move to Asheville in North Carolina. It's the prices it's become from what I've heard and what I've been told by some people, it's very celebrity driven down there now, and the market is just horrible. So but I have friends down there. And they live outside of Asheville, like a 45-minute radius, and it's beautiful. And it's nice. It's like you still get a little touch of winter, but it's not Connecticut winter.
Right.
My body is like So,
if you could do any job for one day, what would that be?
Any job for one day, what would that be? Paint what I want to paint. My final answer on
still
that.
painting,
still painting. I love doing it.
You are blessed.
I don't think I could pick a job that would make me happier than what I do. I honestly don't.
Fantastic. That's great. Yeah. That's a great answer. And any particular charities or foundations / organizations that are close to your heart or that you support? And I'm guessing you're going to say Orlando Ribbons.
Absolutely. I do everything I can. Ben is an amazing person. And the thing is, sometimes he doesn't get the recognition he deserves for the work that he's delivered. Ben, I'm sorry, I wish I had the actual number, but he has delivered well over 1 million ribbons, these ribbons. And they've been to every continent. They've been to space, and he does this, on his own. And it's such a passion. And I just wish, that more people would tune into the work that he's done for the community. Here we are, the first day of Pride Month, and
this is to commemorate the 49 people who were slaughtered at the Pulse nightclub.
Correct. Yeah, and that's come the June 12th is the day. Yeah. So yeah, that's something I'm very, I do everything I can. I do stuff he doesn't even know about because I have tons and tons of ribbons. And I go to Dunkin' Donuts or something, I give them a ribbon, and they'll see my bracelet and be like, "Oh, I love your bracelet," and I give them a ribbon. Constantly giving ribbons to people, and that's me being up here doing my part, and he doesn't even know I'm doing that half the time. So.
And is it just OrlandoRibbon.com?
His Twitter is at Orlando Ribbons.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
And speaking of Twitter, ladies and gentlemen, this is Jon's Twitter handle. It's at Jon Lion Fine Art 2. What happened to the first one? You lost the first one, didn't
I
you?
did. It was
Did you misplace that?
January 2020. If you look at my pinned tweet, it's a collage. I like to put out the videos that they're like collage videos of the work I've done, say over the past 3 months
Mhm.
or 4 months. But then every year I put out here's a video of what I've done, all my work for the past year, and it's very rapid moving. Big mistake on my part. Um, I did one of those videos and I had Louis Armstrong's "It's a Wonderful World" playing in the background. That's
Oh,
like Twitter
damn.
rookie mistake. No, but I thanked the Louis Armstrong Foundation in the tweet, and I tried to do anything I can to credit the music. They just no, and then you know
Yeah.
how Twitter is. There's nobody to talk to. There's nobody. You can't get on the phone and say, "Hey, can we fix this?"
Th
I would. It's a damn tweet. I would have deleted it.
yeah,
At
that
that point,
video
I had like
that
twenty eight
video
thousand followers at that point, and I was just gone.
the video that you made, painting my beard, whatever, it originally
Mhm.
had some different music. I stripped it out and I
Well,
replaced
now
it
what
with
I do is, and I anything I put up is safe now. I have a library of royalty free music.
there you
So
go.
I never. That's why, like, if you go and you see some of my videos, it's sometimes the music is kind of fitting, and sometimes it's a little generic, but it's all safe to use.
And you
Shouldn't be any copyright problems involved.
you guys can check out John's videos on jonlionartist.com.
Hmm.
That's your website, and
That's my website. Yeah.
it's got a great selection of different art pieces that you've worked on, and one of the tabs it categorizes it according to like sketchings, drawings, paintings, and I forget what the third one is.
You could
There's
see a
two.
lot of there's a gallery for all the vinyl, but not all, but there's some of the vinyl records that I've done are on
That
there.
was, yeah.
Yeah, I need to update
And
it, but
you might also want to check
hmm,
out John's Instagram as well,
yes,
his IG account, Jon Lion Fine Art. Some wonderful photographs. And John, I want to thank you so much for stopping by to hang out with me and let me poke and prod you with
yeah.
questions and get you to make a mess of your of your studio there.
Like
Thank
I
you so
said,
much.
our artists are normally hiding. We hide, so this was different for me, and I really appreciate the opportunity that you gave me. I'm honored.
I appreciate your time. Thank you so much. And
Okay,
just hang tight. Don't disappear.
I'm not
I'll
going
see you on
anywhere.
the other side. I'm gonna sign off with my tweeps here. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me for another wonderful episode of Storytime with BDD. I'm your host, BDD, aka Brooklyn Dad. And if you have not yet gotten your shot, what are you waiting for? Go do it. Do it now. Get that shot, get that booster, get that second booster, get it. Handle your business. Um, Wear a mask if you are so inclined. You can't force anybody to do shit now. They're gonna do what they're gonna do, god damn it. But also try to keep your social distance 6 feet or better. And I might have another show coming up on Friday. I will update you. I know that's like 2 days from now. I might have a very special episode of Story with Time with BDD. Everyone is special, but this one might be special. So tune in. Until then, I love you all. Peace.